Saudi mass arrests jolt markets, but many see overdue swoop on corruption. Riyadh, Reuters. All major Gulf stock markets slit on Tuesday on jitters about Saudi Arabia's sweeping anti-graft purge, a campaign seen by critics as a populist power grab, but by ordinary Saudis as an overdue attack on the sleaze of a moneyed ultra-elite. U.S. President Donald Trump endorsed the crackdown, saying some of those arrested have been milking Saudi Arabia for years, but some Western officials expressed unease about the possible reaction in Riyadh's opaque tribal and royal politics. Authorities detained dozens of top Saudis, including billionaire Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, in a move widely seen as an attempt by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to neuter any opposition to his lightning ascent to the pinnacle of power. Admirers see it as an assault on the endemic theft of public funds in the world's top oil exporter, an absolute monarchy where the state and the ruling family are intertwined. Corruption should have been fought a long time ago, because it's corruption that delays society's development, Riyadh resident Hussein al-Dosari told Reuters. God willing, everything that happened is only the beginning of what is planned, said Faisal bin Ali, adding he wanted to see correcting mistakes, correcting ministries and correcting any injustices against the general population. But some analysts see the arrests as the latest in a string of moves shifting power from a consensus-based system dispersing authority among the ruling Al Saud to a governing structure centered around 32-year-old Prince Mohammed himself. Investors worry that his campaign against corruption, involving the arrests of the kingdom's most internationally known businessmen, could see the ownership of businesses and assets become vulnerable to unpredictable policy shifts. Saudi banks have frozen more than 1,200 accounts belonging to individuals and companies in the kingdom, and the number keeps rising, bankers and lawyers said. The authorities sought to reassure the business community late on Tuesday, with the central bank saying it was freezing suspects' personal bank accounts at the request of the Attorney General, but not suspending operations of their companies. In other words, corporate businesses remain unaffected. It is business as usual for both banks and corporates, the bank said in a statement, adding there were no restrictions on money transfers through proper banking channels. A separate statement said Prince Mohammed had directed a powerful ministerial committee, the Council for Economic Affairs and Development, to ensure that national and multinational companies, including those wholly or partly owned by individuals under investigation, were not disrupted. The council recognized the importance of these companies for the national economy and the importance of ensuring that investors could operate with confidence in Saudi Arabia, the state news agency SPA said. In Washington, the U.S. State Department said it was not informed in advance of the Saudi crackdown, but it had been reassured by Riyadh that any prosecutions of suspects would be undertaken in a fair and transparent manner. The Saudi stock index (TASI) sank 0.7% in heavy trade, led by shares in companies linked to people detained in the investigation. The market, which was down 3.1% at one stage, would have finished much lower without apparent buying by government-linked funds seeking to prevent the panic, fund managers said. A mass pullout of foreign funds was not apparent. Among the companies, Prince Al-Walid's Kingdom holding, 4280.se, plunged by its 10% daily limit, bringing its losses in the 3 days since the investigation was announced to 21%. The fall has wiped about $2 billion off his fortune, previously estimated by Forbes magazine at $17 billion. In Dubai, where Saudis have been significant investors, the index.EFMGI slipped 1.8%. The index in Abu Dhabi, less exposed to Saudi money, fell only 0.4%. But Kuwait continued to slide, its index.KWSA losing 2.8%. The show of investor nerves coincided with sharply heightened strains between Riyadh and Tehran, reflected in a fresh denunciation of adversary Iran by Prince Mohammed over its role in Yemen, and by continuing mutual acrimony over political turmoil in Lebanon, another cockpit of Iranian-Saudi rivalry. Displaying an apparently undimmed taste for navigating several challenges simultaneously, Prince Mohammed said Iran's supply of rockets to militias in Yemen is an act of direct military aggression that could be an act of war. He was speaking in a phone call with the British Foreign Minister after Saudi forces intercepted a ballistic missile they said was fired toward Riyadh on Saturday by the Houthis.